Good morning, everybody. It's Thursday, Darren, what day? December 3rd. December 3rd. And if you see Darren, make sure you thank him. He usually is in the third service, but if not, if you see him, he's faithful behind the computer running this thing on Thursday mornings for me for sure, and a couple other days of the week. So Columbus Road could not be what it is without volunteers. And I think that those of you who are a part of it and have been a part of it for a long time see it. Make sure you express and fan the flame of volunteerism, because that's really what makes us tick. And through COVID, we've been so strong, and so there's so many people we could thank. But I know that we don't do it for our glory or for our acknowledgement. We do it because of God and our love for Him. So, that's just a really cool thing about our church. Talking about our church, I want to tell you about something early, and so that you can get onto this. We are having Christmas Eve services, and that will be at 4:30, 6, 7:30, and 9 o'clock on the 24th of December. I'll say it slower. 4:30, 6, 7:30, and 9 o'clock on Christmas Eve. You need to sign up for that, because it's going to be a ticketed event. We are going to limit the amount of people per service, and so we're not going to add chairs to our auditorium. It's going to be as it is now, but we want to accommodate everyone, and therefore we want you at Columbus Road to be the first come, first serve type of idea. And so those at our church, we're going to tell you how to do that first before we release that to the public and Facebook and the web page and all that. Go to your app, go to events, go to Christmas Eve, click on the service that you're attending, put your name in, and then you can add others into your group. So like for me, I did that yesterday, which is the advantage of being the pastor, is I already signed up. I signed up for the service that my family is going to attend. I have children coming from out of town, and so I could just click my name and then add, and so on and so forth. Hey, I just want to tell you to do that, because once we release those addresses and webpage and Facebook, it's going to be whoever wants to come from within or from without. And I believe this year, because there are so many churches that are not doing anything, that we might retain some other folks. So I want to make sure that our people are served first, and then people from other churches. Let's go to Lord in prayer, and then we're going to talk about one word today. God, thank you for this day. Thank you for the listeners to this devotional. And may you bless their lives. May they be encouraged on this day. May they take the steps of faith they need to be what you want them to be. Help us to break out of bad habits, patterns, thoughts, behaviors, and into good steps, good health, good relationships, and good practices. And we just thank you for Darren today. Bless his life and his willingness to serve regularly here at Columbus Road. Pray all these things in your name, amen. The word is hospitality. That's the word I want to talk about today, is hospitality. I'm sure that you have experienced good hospitality before, whether it was at a restaurant, whether it was at a motel, hotel. Maybe the hospitality was in someone's home. Maybe you're very familiar. I think of one of my dear friends that I'm about to perform their wedding, and Andy and Karen, and they run a hospitality business, and so they know a lot about hospitality, how to do it. And you don't think too much of hospitality in relationship to a spiritual discipline, but it's a qualification to be a pastor. Isn't that crazy? It says in 2 Timothy 3:2, therefore an overseer must be above reproach, the husband of one wife, sober-minded, self-controlled, respectable, hospitable. So pastors are to be those that are leading the way in hospitality. And the Bible is filled with exhortation, not suggestions, not even really descriptions. Because I thought, well, it's been on my mind because we're going to preach Sunday on hospitality, or part of the message. And so I've been doing some more study. And I don't hear a lot of description. I hear more of prescription, like, do this. And so I was looking this up. What does hospitality mean? And what are the elements around hospitality? And it really boils down to loving those who you do not know. It isn't so much having someone over for a meal. There's an element of that, and it challenges, and I'll get to that in a moment. But hospitality really relates to those that we don't know. Are we open? Are we inviting to those that we don't know? It's so easy to end up in a holy huddle. It's so easy to just run in the circles of the people you know. Invite the people that you like and are your friends over to your house. Think about your guest list for anything. It isn't made up of people you don't know. It's made up of people you know. The exhortation of being hospitable is to be open, inviting, to love strangers. That's actually what it literally means, to love strangers. So when we think about that, the first thing that I think of is Hebrews chapter 13, verse 2. And it says this: do not neglect to show hospitality to strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unawares. And I've told this story. I'm going to tell it again this morning, but Lisa and I, before marriage, driving down the road, interstate, middle of a storm, snowstorm. We're driving along and we see this woman alongside the road. And she doesn't look like she's ill prepared for the snowstorm. She doesn't have a coat on. And long story short, Lisa says, we're turning around. I didn't want to turn around. She said, we're turning around. I turned around. We picked the lady up and we noticed that her shoes had holes in them on the top and bottom, so you can see her feet. She didn't have a coat. It was probably 20 degrees, and we're going, what in the world? We took her to McDonald's, we fed her, and then at that point, that's where we ended up just, I don't want to say leaving her there, but that's as far as it went because she didn't want to go any further. She said, I'm just going to stay here, and then she gave us a reason. But it always crosses my mind when I hear this passage about showing hospitality to strangers, is that it may be that you're interacting with somebody who isn't a human, but rather an angel. I can remember another time where I was at church, and a young guy was laying outside of the lobby of our church, and I never saw his face, by the way, the whole entire time that I interacted with him. But he was in the lobby of our church, and I offered him a meal. We had a McDonald's across from our church. Yeah, that was pretty cool. And we walked over. We had an Egg McMuffin meal, and I never was able to see his face. He had one of those hoodies, and it just covered his whole face, other than really like his mouth. And that was an interaction. And I can think of others, but the reality of this is that, are you hospitable? That's where I'm going with this. It says in 2 Peter chapter 4, verse 9, or 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 9, we're going to talk about this a little bit more Sunday. Show hospitality to one another without grumbling. There is a reality where that people demonstrate their maturity and their spiritual aptitude by the time they have for other individuals and the time that they use to show, to embrace, to love, and show people that they are welcoming and open to give love to others. And so really we think of hospitality like, well, you have to have a clean house, some really cool dishes, you have to be able to make some stuff that people like to eat, and it's like for the together people that are Martha Stewart or something like that. And really, that's the furthest thing from the truth. That could be a position that a person would hold that would demonstrate or display pride. Look what I can do. Look what I have. Look how I can impress you. So it's not that. It's not that. It really is welcoming, which is which is an issue of the heart, where people can understand and sense that you care for them. And usually that's done in a home. That's why we end up saying, hey, be hospitable. And that ends up being a place where that you reside because you're comfortable. So usually if you're comfortable, other people will feel that same comfort level. So we charge, we exhort, we challenge people to have people into their homes. Romans 12:13, contribute to the needs of the saints and seek to show hospitality. Titus chapter 1 verse 8, hospitality, a lover of good, self-control, upright, holy, and discipline. Another quality, a character quality of a pastor passage. We see it through the scriptures how that if we are to demonstrate who we are in Christ, it's going to require hospitality. In fact, Jesus says this, then the king will show to those on his right, come you who are blessed by my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you for the foundation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. I was a stranger, and you welcomed me. I was naked, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you visited me. I was in prison, and you came to me. Then the righteous will answer him, saying, Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you drink? And when did we see you as a stranger and welcome you, or naked and clothe you? And then he goes on to say, the least of these you've done unto me. Hospitality is something that you and I need to display as a byproduct of the relationship we have with Jesus. That the people that sometimes we pass on in our daily activities, whether it's a clerk or somebody that meets our need in the service sector, maybe it's a neighbor. It's the people around us, and they're all around us, where that we can extend and show love and favor and good works toward them. The Bible is very clear that the lost will see our love and good works. It's two things. It's not just what we say, but it's also what we do. And so this morning, I don't know what your hospitality life is like. I don't know if you recognize, if you are aware, if you are paying attention, but let me just challenge you to get out of your holy huddle, your us for and no more. Look for the people in your life that you could show hospitality to that would really make a difference to them. And I don't think it's going to take you too long. If it's going to take you a long time to think of somebody, then you need to get out more. You need to get out into the community where you have some people that you don't know well and show some hospitality, extending love to those that you don't know. So, I hope you have a good day. Make sure that you sign up for the Christmas Eve service. There's a way you can show hospitality. Invite a neighbor or an acquaintance to our Christmas Eve services. And it's going to be a great time. I'll get into more details on this over the next coming weeks. We're going to keep plugging away at Columbus Road. We're here at 9, 10:30, and 5:30. This weekend, we're talking about another aspect of how to live life in a culture that needs to be canceled. We'll talk to you later.